Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cardsmiths. It's been a while again, but real excited to be back with some more Earthborne Rangers content here. And this video, it's going to be a brief one. I'm just going to cover the information and updates that have been released for the game since the last video I made talking about the game and the announcement of Earthborne Game Studio from Andrew Navarro. So yeah, this is exciting. There's been actually a real big announcement, which is that the Kickstarter date at which the date at which the Kickstarter launches has been announced, and that's July 27th, 2021. So in less than a week, actually. So wanting to get this video out now so that nobody's surprised when it launches, and maybe they're really busy for the first kind of those couple weeks, or I don't know exactly how long the Kickstarter is going to be active, but yeah, I just don't want anyone who is interested in the game missing out on that. So I want to get this information out right now. And yeah, less than a week. So this is really exciting. I'm real pumped to actually really just find out a lot more about this game. There hasn't been a ton in terms of actual gameplay. We have kind of an idea of we have a good idea of what is gonna be about and what Andrew and the company stands for in regards to their vision of environmental sustainability. So I'm already pumped to be just supporting this and supporting this exciting new uh, vision that he has for the industry. But in regards to the game itself, real excited to see how much is revealed when the Kickstarter launches. And let's hop over to their Twitter page here. And there's been a few tweets, so we'll just go over those quickly. A few tweets since the last video I made. So this one right here from June 25th. As with all consumer goods, we cannot continue producing games in a destructive and short-sighted way. The time for meaningful change has come. Earthborne Games was founded to show how fully sustainable practices and transparency can bring lasting improvements to the industry. And then this is a thread, so this tweet here is just from goes below that, and that's when the Kickstarter campaign launches later this summer. Well, since then it's actually been announced when. You will see precisely what we mean, and you'll have the opportunity to help make Earthborne Rangers the first sustainably produced game of its kind. So that's really exciting, and yeah, it's coming up. So then from July 2nd here, so here we see a card here. So let's open this up and have a look. Have a closer look here. So character creation is an integral part of Earthborne Rangers. Your Rangers' strengths and weaknesses are derived from an emerging narrative about who they are and what they've experienced. So this is really interesting. I know Andrew, in some of the emails he sent out, if you subscribed for that on their website, there's been some information announced there. And yeah, he talks about kind of how the games that have really pulled him in the most have been Into the Worlds and really pulled him into a game and given him a really immersive experience have been card games and role-playing games. And he talked about how he wants some of that feeling of a role-playing game in this card game, and in terms of the way your character is affected by their experiences and their history and who they are. So that's very interesting. I'm curious to see how that will actually look like in practice and in terms of game mechanics and the way the cards function and the things that they represent in terms of your history. So that I'm curious to see more about that, but the concept of it is really interesting. So this one is balanced, moment, innate. And then response, I wonder if maybe like a reaction type ability. Actually, based on what it does, yeah, it would be a reaction. After you succeed at a fit test, refill one other energy type. So let's hop up here. Thrilled to announce our partnership with Frosted Games to make the German language edition of Earthborne Rangers available during the Kickstarter. Frosted Games shares our vision for environmental sustainability and affecting change in our industry. So this is real exciting. If you speak German or have German friends that would be excited about this, yeah, this is great. The more languages a game is available in, the more accessible it is, and the wider the reach it can have of people who can enjoy it, especially with something like this where the more people who are able to support this sustainability initiative is exciting. So that's great to see. And well, this tweet's actually been pinned. This was from in between the the announcement for the German language and the card here is when the Kickstarter was announced, and like we talked about, July 27th. So that is really coming up now. And then here, this tweet's from yesterday, actually, and this is, we're only 1 week away from the launch of the Earthborne Rangers Kickstarter campaign. You can follow the project now to be notified at launch. So let's jump over to the project. So this is on Kickstarter's website here. And yeah, as of now, there's 322 followers who are going to be notified on launch. And yeah, the project launches Tuesday, July 27th, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, I believe, is what that stands for. So yes, just the only information here is just a sustainably produced, customizable, cooperative card game set in the wilderness of the far future for 1 to 4 players. And that's a very good player range there in terms of in regards to a card game. So yeah, that is about it for new information. Oh, actually, no. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, which is right here. Someone says, "I'm so excited. Is there any gameplay information that will be released prior to launch?" And Earthborne Games responds, "A lot of talk about gameplay specifics on a forthcoming episode of the Covenant Cast by @TeamCovenant." And if you are listening, if you're subscribed to our channel, you're on YouTube, you're likely into card games. If you're watching this video too, unless you're here for one of our board games, which definitely happy to have you here watching the video. But yeah, you've likely heard of Team Covenant. If I'm sure you probably have. And despite whether you've heard of them or not, if you may have, but maybe you haven't listened to their podcast, and I highly recommend it. I'm not, aside from Arkham and maybe some of their throwback games they've done, I'm not very invested or interested in the games which they currently stream on their channel. So I haven't really watched many of their, really watching their streams. But their podcast is very good. It's very well done. They release, and I think they're kind of on a schedule where maybe it's about a new, there's not a definitive schedule. Maybe they have a new episode every couple weeks. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's a little longer. Usually it's a little less than that. Maybe, I don't know. It varies. Sometimes it's around once a week. But yeah, they're very personable. They're very knowledgeable. They've been in the industry a long time in terms of retailers and players of these games. They're very involved in the industry. And yeah, they're just very personable. They're fun to listen to, and they're knowledgeable in what they're talking about. So I highly recommend their podcast, especially if you're here watching this Earthborne Rangers video. If you are interested in more gameplay specifics, and it's a great combo because it's the Covenant Cast, which is a great podcast. That's something I'm absolutely going to be listening to, and I highly recommend it. So if that episode, I assume they'll have that episode probably launch maybe just prior to the launch of the Kickstarter, maybe during the Kickstarter campaign, but that'll probably be coming out within, I would imagine, probably the next week. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's it. Just wanted to cover those updates to Earthborne Rangers. It's coming right up, folks. So if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Thanks for being here, consuming our content. And yeah, if you're newer to the channel, consider subscribing. If you find there's some value in what we're doing here, click like, click subscribe. Always feel free to leave comments below. Get that conversation going if you have thoughts on the game or games, or just, start that conversation down below. So until next video, take care, and we'll catch you guys next time.